What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel for what is a very long but very good video, if I don't mind saying myself. Today we are going to talk about how to create your fully customizable club within FM22. All the steps that you need to do, you can do it for free. It's simple. It's just a long process, and hopefully by the end of this video, you guys will know exactly what you need to do to get your own club into the game using the power of the pre-game editor. I know Football Manager gives you the option to sort of take over a club, but it doesn't allow you to fully customize things the way I would like to fully customize things. And I'm sure you guys are the exact same. When you're building your own team, you want everything as personal as you possibly can get it. And with the power of the pre-game editor, you can definitely do that. So without any further ado, let's dive into it. I'll talk you through the pre-game editor. I'll show you guys how to get it, and then ultimately how to build your own powerhouse club. Let's get into it. So then, guys, if you are playing on Steam, this is where you will need to start. If you are playing on Epic Games or Xbox or anything like that, unfortunately, guys, I don't think you will have the ability to do this. This is just primarily for PC-based players or computer-based players. Obviously, you can do this on Mac as well if you have purchased the game through Steam. Now, I've got my game through Steam, and as you can see, I've got all my FMs throughout the years stored on that left-hand side. But little do you know, each one comes with a specific tool, which is the pre-game editor. Now, first and foremost, you need to access this pre-game editor, which is pretty self-explanatory. You see on this drop-down menu here, guys, where it says Games, just click on that one and tick the box that also says Tools, because as you can see, there's all sorts of tools and stuff available. As you can see, the editor and the resource archiver for all of these things, all of these previous games, and the one you need is right here, that Football Manager 2022 editor. Install this. You will need to install this on the same system that your game is on. So if your storage for your system is on a storage device, you need to install this one on the storage device as well, because obviously it reads all of the in-game data. So once you've done that, install it, hit this launch button, and then you'll be in the pre-game editor. Let me hit the launch button. I'll see you in the pre-game editor. Okay then, guys, so we are back to review everything that I've done so far, and I can talk you through how to do things yourself. Obviously, if you need to pause the video at any stage to get things done and get things as accurate as you want them to be for your personal save, please do so. So you've added your club. What's going on, guys? Editor Steve here. I realized that I didn't even show you how to add a club, which is probably the first main thing that you want to do here. So once you load up the database, hit File, Load Database. This will load up the entire database for you. Relatively self-explanatory. Once you've done that, guys, this is what I need you to do. Go into Clubs, and then in the bottom right hand corner, it's very self-explanatory. You just hit the Add button. And that will bring up your unique club ID. As you can see here, mine's 20145415. Please make a note of this. You will need it later on in the video. And then we'll go back to Video Steve, who will carry on with the rest of the video. Take care, guys. And as you can see, we've made 179 database changes throughout the course of building this club. So it's not too shabby at all. As I mentioned, you get a unique ID. Please do keep a hold of this, make a note of it, especially if you are doing custom kits, custom logos, all of that good stuff as well. Please do make a note of it. So then we've got the name. This is self-explanatory. This is your Real Madrid's, your Manchester United, your Liverpool's. This is what you want your team to be called. Mine is just going to be called Hood Gaming. The short name is, you know, the short name, Hood Gaming. 6-letter name, Hood GM is how I've gone for it, and the original 3-letter name is HOO. I did go HOG and then realized that it's spelt hog, so probably not the right way to move things forward. Obviously, you can set your team a nickname if you want to. I don't want to give my team a nickname at all, but if you want to, just type a nickname in here. The hashtag here, mine is just HoodG, and this is where in the social feed on the club, within the game, sorry, the social media screen on the club, this is how it looks, and that's the hashtag that is used to find your team. If your club is extinct, you tick this box. Obviously, if they're extinct, you won't be able to play with them. Don't tick it. Then you have to go and set what nation you're based in, what continental cups, etc, etc. So first and foremost, you go on this drop down here, you click search, and then this will bring up all the countries and everything that you want in the game. Now, obviously, you can just scroll down here until you find England, but if you want to search for things directly, or you're trying to be in a country that's a little bit more exotic from one of the main sort of nations, just click on this drop down here, add condition, tick name, and then just put in England. Pretty self-explanatory. The database will do the search, and then as you can see, here comes England. So then, as you can see, we are based in the nation of England, and obviously that is how we qualify for continental cups. That is through England as well. I've done the same with the city as well, so I've just gone on the search and I've said that I want to be based in Bristol. So again, just add the condition of name and search for Bristol. We need to make sure that we tick the Bristol in the UK rather than the Bristol in Connecticut in the US, because that could be a bit of a travel for home and away games. Then we have the background and foreground colors. These are relatively self-explanatory. So the background color is the back, it makes sense, and the foreground color is the front. So if you were Liverpool in this instance, Liverpool's background color in game is red and their foreground color is white. So the background is red and the text that sits on it, not my microphone, and the text that sits on it is white. So that's pretty self-explanatory. I've gone for black and I've gone for as the background color, and I've gone for orange as a foreground color. So as you can see there, that is what we've gone for. That is the color of the channel. So years founded 2021, self-explanatory. This year, you need to be at the start of the year. Don't try and do it in the future and say 2022 if you are creating this in the future. It needs to be, the start date needs to be once the editor data starts. So if you are picking this up in 2022 and you want to put, yeah, we were founded this year, you need to remember when the season starts on Football Manager. So please do put 2021. We are a semi-professional club because I will be replacing Bath City in the Vanarama National League South. So a lot of this data is taken off of Bath City, guys. So if you want to go in at a certain level, I would recommend doing this and taking a look at one of the other clubs that are in that division that you would be looking to replace. We are going to replace a club in the real life database of a real team. As I said, we are replacing Bath City, but make sure your values aren't too generous, shall we say. So moving down, as I said, we are semi-professional. I've not taken maximum and minimum age. I don't think that's required. You have a squad morale here, which, as you can see in the bottom left here, it gives you a little bit of a guide as to what numbers can go in here. It's much the same as attributes in FM22. So morale can go from 0 to 20. Obviously, if it's 0, that's, you know, the club morale is pretty bad, and if it's 20, the club morale is exceptional. You probably just won a trophy, won a league, won promotion, that sort of thing. I'm just going to leave mine at 10 for now. Obviously, morale is something that you can easily boost in game once you get into it. Reputation, again, I've copied this from Bath City, so ours is 2,650, but as you can see from the reputation thing at the bottom, it goes from 0 to 10,000. Now your ones at the 0 are definitely going to be your sort of tier 10 clubs if you use a tier 10 club once that database comes out. If you're at the top end of that bracket, you know, your Real Madrid, your Barcelonas, your Bayerns, etc., any of the top English clubs, you're going to be much more to the top end of that scale of 10,000. It's all about how realistic you want your experience to be, guys. I could just sit here and just say, yeah, you know, we're going to be fantastic. We're going to be a professional club starting in the National League South. We're going to have a morale of 20, a reputation of 10,000, but I just don't think it's realistic. So that's why I've taken ownership of Bath stats, really, basically. So then we move down the tabs. I'm just going to run through all of these ones on the left hand side, guys, and tell you what I've done for my personal save, and also what I would recommend for you guys. Now we've got reserve teams here. You can add in, I've got an under 23s team and an under 18s team, only because once you get to the Premier League longer term, this is where I'm thinking longer term, once you get to the Premier League, you're going to want these sort of teams available to play in all the U23s and U18 competitions. So I'm adding them now. How populated they're going to be at the start of the game when I'm in the National League South remains to be seen. But it's quite easy to add them. So to add one, you just click on add here. That will drop another thing in here. And then as you can see, you've got the drop down menu here. So you can have second team, third team, amateur team, B, C, the second team written in a different capacity, reserve team, under 18s, B team, 19s, 20s, blah, Dutch young team if you are playing in Holland, or a youth under 21 team. If you accidentally add the wrong thing, guys, just select it here, and then you have the remove button here, so just click that. As I said, for me, I don't want a reserve team, I want an under 23s, I want an under 18s, and ultimately that is where I'm going to leave things here. Then we move things forward. As I mentioned, they've changed a little bit of this now. It's much more PC in terms of fitting and sort of what is acceptable nowadays. It used to be a chairman, it's now a chairperson. Again, I'm copying Bath City here. No presidents, general managers, or founders here, just a chairperson. And as I said, we are copying Bath City, so their ownership type is member owned and done via elections. So as you can see, you can kind of do all of this here. You can be member owned via PLC, member owned by a limited company, consortiums. You know, you can kind of do whatever you want here. As I said, I'm going down the member owned route. You can put an election date in there if you want to. You can set promises here from each chairman or chairperson, should I say. Regardless of what you want to do, I will not be doing anything here. And obviously, because we are having elections, guys, I have to set the election terms. So as you can see, the max length of a term is 2 years, so a chairperson can serve for 2 years. However, I have said if they are doing very, very well, they can go on and they can go up to 100 terms if they want to. That can go from 0 to 100, same as the longer the term can go from 0 to 100 as well. I just want them over 2 years, and then if they are doing well, they can be re-elected. Rather straightforward. Current number of terms again is how long the chairperson has been currently in. I've only wanted them in 1 year, so after a year in game I should have a election, which will be quite nice. Because we are voting for a chairperson, I have said that the minimum and maximum turnout will be 100. This is a percentage, guys. If you are voting for a chairperson, you're going to want a lot of people to turn up, so we've said that we want 100% of the people to turn up. Now, moving on to the stadium, guys, I've already set up a stadium. Now, you do this quite simply by going back up to the database option here, and then you go all the way down on the left-hand side to stadiums. And then, much like you did with the club, sorry, you just go on and you click add in the bottom right. It's going to be behind my head. I've already set one up here. Let me open my own stadium here. So here is 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 Gaming Stadium, and once you've set up the stadium, guys, you can do exactly everything as you kind of would expect. This stadium comes with a unique ID as well, but it also comes with a name. You can just search it via name. I said here the city is in Bristol. That is where I'm from. That is where I live, so I've set it there. That is where I want the club to be based. We own the club, so I've done that by setting the search here and searching for our own team, and then obviously we've said okay, and that shows that we own the stadium. The seat colors I've made black. You can say that it can be your training ground if you want it to be by ticking this box. I've just been, you know, relatively average. I've said we've got a 5,000 seater stadium. It's not massive, but it is going to be very, very good for the level that we are going in at. I understand some people will say that's cheating. Again, you can kind of copy things from other clubs if you want to in this capacity. I put an expansion capacity of 7,500 there as well. You can change what type of pitch you want. I would recommend sticking with grass or grass synthetic. You can set the dimensions of your pitch as well if you really, really want to. Also, one thing I will say, a little bit further down here, I mean, you can go in and you can set the latitude and longitude of your stadium if you really, really want to, but that's a little bit beyond my requirements. What I will say, though, right at the bottom, you can have a nearby stadium, and I've set mine as Ashton Gate, which is Bristol City Stadium. I would recommend doing this, guys, because in the future, if your club ever does build a new stadium, the nearby stadium is where you will be sent to play your matches. Now, I've had this before. I was doing this in a team in this sort of capacity where I created my own. We were based in Bristol, and I hadn't done this, and it sent me to Birmingham for my home games, which is sub-ideal. So I've just made sure here Ashton Gate is our nearby stadium, and fingers crossed we can play our home games at Ashton Gate should things change. And we get a new stadium built, which would be fantastic. So that is the stadium done. So you go back into your database here, and then you go back into your clubs, and then as you can see, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 Gaming here, sorted by 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 Gaming. Click it open, go into stadium on the tab on the left hand side, then stadium, go here, search, and then again, add the condition of the name, type in whatever you called your stadium name, and then select it as the stadium where you play your matches. You can also set up a training ground as well. I've set mine up as the University of Bath. It's a relatively decent facility. It's pretty close to where I live as well, so why not? We've got an attendance here of, it's just listed as 10,000. The stadium's not that big though. So we've also set a minimum attendance of 500. Why not? That's a little bit generous, but there we go. I've copied all the rest of these from Bath City as well. So the training facilities, the youth coaching, the youth facilities, youth recruitment, and youth importance, these all range from -1 to 20 as well. So it's all about how good your facilities are. Again, it is entirely up to your discretion here what you do with it. I will say, you know, there is some importance in youth recruitment. If you want to go down a fully youth save, you can bump the youth recruitment and youth recruitment and facilities up, and then maybe you can get some high level new gens coming through your team. But again, this is all discretionary and is entirely up to you. Now we move into the finances, which I know a lot of people will say is the most controversial section of this pre-game editor, because ultimately you can do whatever you want to do. You can set your budget here. If you want your balance to be £1 billion, you can do that. If you want it to be more realistic, like I'm going with here, again, I've copied Bath City's budget. Their balance is 20k. In the positive, which is nice. It doesn't always work that way. And then if you wanted to set a transfer budget, you can do that. Maximum wage allowed if you wanted to be capped in that way. You can do all of that and set all this information here. As I said, I'm just leaving mine as 20k. If you want a rich benefactor, you can click on the drop down here. You can see here, if you have a rich benefactor in the foreground, that is going to be someone like Roman Abramovich, who's very much a public figure and is sort of kind of demanding, but has a face to the name, if that makes sense. In the background is relatively self-explanatory. Is someone who will give you money but isn't as public a figure, I guess. The underwriter is someone who will just give you money. It's just constant, give you money when you need it. And then underwriter that expect returns will be, okay, well, we'll give you this 10 million to build a new stadium, but because of that, we expect XYZ promises and that sort of things that will come into the game. If you are in administration, you can click here. We will not be doing that. We are not Derby County. We are not Reading. We will not be touching that button. If you are under a transfer embargo, you can do that. If you really, really fancy something ridiculously difficult, you can do that. I definitely wouldn't do that, hypothetically. You can also set your ticket prices. Again, I've copied this from Bath City. So it's £13 an average match day ticket and £220 for average season ticket. And I've said that we've got 150 season ticket holders. So it kind of guarantees a little bit of revenue coming in. And that is pretty much all you need to do in the general section. In the other incomes, what I've done is I've given us a few sponsors. Again, I've copied this from Bath. So we have 2 general sponsors, a kit sponsor, a short sponsor, and a back of shirt sponsor, all for these amounts, as you can see here. These are all relatively self-explanatory. 25k for a kit sponsorship, 20k general sponsorship. It's probably going to be a stadium or something to that sort of, oh, you can do a stadium sponsor separately. But you can do any of these sponsorships here. All you need to do is just click on add. Another one will jump in here. Click on it here, and then you can tailor all the information here. So I could say I would like a £1 million sponsorship for our individual TV deal. And then as you can see, we'd get £1 million for that individual TV deal. You can set when that ends if you want to. In this instance, as I said, I'm going realistic, so I can remove that one by selecting it and hitting the remove button. And what I've done here, guys, is I've set the end date for the that needs to change. Actually, that needs to not be the 1st, that needs to be the 30th. Come on, Steve, you're better than that. So we will have the 30th of June next season, so that you can see once we've hit the 30th of June next year, that sponsorship that I have personally set up will expire. And then what I've done is I've ticked the renew income option here so that we actually go out and actively try and replace these sponsors, but then it will be much more tailored to the actual game and what level you are at. Obviously there are sections for debts and financial fair plays and stuff like that. I'm not setting any of this up myself. I won't be even adding any players to the club. I will be doing that myself. So these will accrue over time, but I'm not starting the game with any such restrictions. Then there's the competitions tab. I will go into that one in a little bit once we're done here. It's much easier to do it in a different way than going into the competitions tab, so I'll skip that one for now. Then you have the club vision. Now, Club vision is what you are based on. This is how you are judged as a manager within Football Manager. Obviously they have competitions, expectations as well, but this is the sort of how the club expects you to play. So again, much the same as all the others, you can hit add here and then you get a drop down menu. And as you can see, guys, we can select anything we want here. I've already set 2 up of play entertaining football and don't sign players over the age of 30, but you can do anything you want here. You can say, you know, sign players under the age of 20 for the future, sign them for the first team, you know, sign high reputation players. I know Manchester City and a few others have that. Sign players of a specific nationality. If you wanted to do a save within a specific nation, I am doing a live save right now with Red Star Belgrade on this YouTube channel, actually, where we will be trying to build up Serbia. So for instance, I could go in here and say sign players of nationality, and then we have to search for the nationality, which is here, and then you click on search here and then add condition, name, and we could just say Serbia. So then that would say, as part of our club vision, we can only sign players from Serbia. Now, each one of these things, let me just remove that because that is ridiculous. We won't be doing that with Hood Gaming FC, that's for sure. So for instance, on this, don't sign players over the age of, I have said the importance for this is 7. This ranges, as you can see in the bottom left, from -10 to 10, depending on how important your club thinks this is going to be. If you're near the top of the 10 in the positive, it is going to be very important. It is going to be something you are judged on. So personally, I don't sign players over the age of 30. So I've said max age of players that I can sign is 30 years of age, and I've ticked the box here for is ongoing club vision. Much the same as play entertaining football, we put an importance on it of 7, and we said it is a ongoing part of the club vision. Then we move into the tactical attributes, guys. I don't touch this because once you take over as manager, this is going to completely change anyway. The supporters profile, I have copied this again from Bath City. I'm getting a bit bored of saying that, so I'm sure you're getting a bit bored of hearing it. But this, again, these range from 0 to 20, much the same as attributes in FM22. And again, loyalty to you is self-explanatory. Passion, patience, affluence, temperament, and expectations. You can alter these as much as you want pre-game. And then it's entirely up to you and how your team do in game, depending on how these things change. However, I will say, for some instance, if you set expectation here, if you set expectations to 20 and you're not delivering, the fans will be at your door. So just bear that in mind. Then we move down into the contract types. Obviously, we are a semi-professional club, so I've given everybody part-time contracts with the exception of the manager, that will be you, and the director of football. I personally want a director of football. I think they're really, really good for getting recommendations of players and stuff. So I use my director of football all the time. So I've given them a full-time contract. Everybody else is part-time. And then we move on to the kits and the colors and stuff. This is really, really interesting, guys. What I will say here, this is all the extensions you need for this sort of stuff. You have an icon, you have a logo, you have home, away, and third kits. Well, I've added a third kit. And you can kind of do this as you want. You can do things in game and it will give you a logo, or you can do what I will touch on once we've finished the in database portion of this video. Because you can get 2D and 3D kits. The 3D kits are what happens in game. The 2D kits are just a visual representation on the home screen of how the kit looks. I would recommend doing this if you're not getting 3D kits made. I would go into here and you can change all of this stuff yourselves. Obviously, make sure when you are doing this for any particular kits. So for instance, I had to add a third kit. It only usually gives you a home and away kit. Obviously, you can add a third kit, just click it, and then you have to add all 5 of these things. So make sure you have all 5 of them. You need an icon, you need the text, you need a shirt, you need a shorts, and you need sock design. And each one of these is fully customizable. So the icon is if you are playing in 2D, and I know there's still people who play in 2D even in 2021. This is the icon that you will see. So again, you can see the icon is what we're talking about here. And then again, much the same as the club text and stuff, you have a background color, which is the orange, and then the outline, again, self-explanatory. The outline is whatever color outlines the icon. As you can see, it's just changed up here from black to white. I'm just going to change that back to black. So again, that's how they look. The text again is how when you've scored a goal, or it is giving you the text-based commentary how that will look. So as you can see, my foreground color on my third kit is black and my background color is orange. Much the same with the shirts. You can kind of do whatever you like with the shirts. If you click on the example, you can see the example here on the right hand side. If you click on the kit style here, you just click change. It brings up a plethora of designs that you can go for and fully customized. I've gone relatively simple here, just a standard orange with black piping down the side. You can also change the back of the shirt as well. You can either go same as the front, square, where it puts like a old school 80s sort of square on where you can pop the number on, or you can do plain. Mine's the same as the front at the moment because it's plain. It's pretty straightforward. Then you've got the color options again, and much the same: foreground, background, outline, number color, and number color outline. And again, as I said, it's pretty straightforward. You need to do the same for the shorts as well. Again, there's loads of options for shorts, and you can do the same for socks as well, making sure that you have all of these done. As I said, you need to have all 5 of these. If you don't have all 5 of these, you may find some issues, guys, so just bear that in mind. Moving on, staff and players. I've not added any staff or players. However, you could do that if you really wanted to. So for instance, in players, if I wanted to add a player to the club, we could just say we are doing a 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 𝙈𝙚. So just go on add condition and make 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 come through. There we go. It's found a few records there. We want 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪. So we can just say okay here. And then 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 is our only player. Now, obviously, again, I'm not going to be doing this. I like being thrifty. I like finding my own players. So we will not be starting the save with 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪. He's got 184 current ability. Jesus Christ. He is good. But you can do the same here with coaching staff or anything like that. Any players out on loan, any players in on loan, your captains, your testimonials, your responsibilities, all of that stuff. You can set all that if you want. If you want the authentic experience of being a brand new club, I would suggest leaving it blank. Then you go into the relationships. I've set up a rivalry here with Bath City. Obviously, we are taking their place in the National League South, so you can understand why they were pretty peeved. Again, just hit the add. Then it comes down with a drop down. You go for search, and you can search their name there. Ignore the fact that that says Bristol City. You'll see why in a second. So Bath City, it sets the level again for you between 0 and 100. If it's 0, the rivalry is not very fierce. If it's 100, it is pretty fierce, and you can set the reason as well. You can say local, competitive, or historic as well, and then you can tick this box if you really want to. Clubs don't transfer players. So for instance, a Manchester United would probably have this one: don't transfer players. Ideally, you probably wouldn't want to anyway. You can set up current affiliations. I've currently set up an affiliation with Bristol City here. This is the team I support. We'd play at their stadium if we got a new stadium. Why not? So I said Bristol City is the main club. There's no start or end date on here, and the affiliation type is that we just have a good relationship with Bristol City. Relatively straightforward. And then moving down, we've got the under 23s kits and colors. Again, you need to go through and do all of this if you want to make sure that your team plays in the right kits and colors. This is a bit of a long thing. I've not done it myself, so I would recommend that you take the time and go through and do it. For any additional teams that you did add, I would really recommend that you do that. Obviously, they've got their own reputation, their own kits and icons and stuff like that, but that is the main thing you need to do, guys. Go and get this set up and make sure everything is as I've shown you here, and making sure that you are happy with it. And now it is time for you to take your place in the division. So we are going to go into here, add condition, search for name, and Vanarama. Let's search for that, and that column is too narrow, so I need to go into the Vanarama National League South. So we will click on this here, guys, and then it will bring up the Vanarama National League South. Obviously, you can see all of the information here: reputation, trophy type, blah blah. You can see it all. But what you need to do, guys, is you need to go into the teams drop down here on the left hand side, and then this is where you find the team that you would like to replace. So as I said, here is Bath City. Bath, play at 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 Park, England. That's the reputation, as I showed you. There's the balance, and there's the remaining wage budget, but we didn't touch that. So this is where we swap ourselves in for one of these teams. So we are just going to do the swap button here, and then add a condition of name, and we are going to go Hood Gaming. And then it's going to search for us, and then you need to make sure you add in the first team. You don't want to be adding your under 23s into this, I can guarantee you. And then, as you can see, we've been added at the bottom, and as you can see, Hood is in. Hood Gaming Stadium. This is the team. We are ready to go. We are ready to roll. And then all you need to do, guys, is come up here, save editor data, Then as you can see, I've got all my real name fixes there. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, and then that will save to your folder, editor data saved. And now it is time to talk about club logos, kits, all of that fantastic graphical stuff. As I said, guys, this is a very long video. If you are finding this useful, please do drop a like on it down below. And if you are new, subscribe around here. Let's talk graphics. So guys, there are so many graphical add-ons that you can put into the world of Football Manager. I've got my graphics folder open here so that you guys can take a look at things. But this is all the graphics I've got in my game currently. I will say I get all my graphics from 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 for the most part. And I've done videos and tutorials on how to sort out all the graphics, all the kits, all the logos, all of that stuff on the channel already. Please do make sure you go and check them out. But first and foremost, we're going to talk about logos. As I mentioned, I get mine from 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪. We have a logos folder here, and within all this you have all the different continents. So you've got Europe, and then we go into England, then we go into clubs. Now you're going to need a logo if you use this particular logo pack, which I would recommend. It is the best one out there if you ask me. You're going to need a normal size logo and a small size logo. So if we go into the normal size logo, we scroll all the way to the bottom, as you can see here, I have the Hood Gaming logo that I've put in here with that number that is there, the 2000, what is it, 20145415. That was my unique club number that I told you to make a note of. This is where you need it, guys. So we've set up our club logo here. It's very basic. I've just taken a screenshot of my transition. I'm sure you've probably seen it. And you need to add it in here. If you are using this folder, this logo pack already, obviously there are so many logos in here already. British Aerospace, I didn't realize that they were in here. Then you need to edit the config file. This is relatively self-explanatory. The normal logo, guys, is 200 pixels by 200 pixels. Just as a note, making it any smaller will be make it pixelated. Making it any bigger, it won't fit. Relatively straightforward. So if you've downloaded this this logo file from 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, click on the config file, click here, then just click edit. That will bring it open in Notepad. And then I have added this logo here. So all you need to do, guys, to do the same is just add a line and make sure the numbers here correlate with the number of your club. So again, as you can see, I've got the number here listed here. So it is loading record from the image number, which is obviously that image, to graphics, pictures, club, the club unique number again, and then logo here. So you add that in as a line of text, relatively self-explanatory. Hit file, hit save, close that. Then you need to make sure that you do the same for both the normal and the small version. The small version is the icon. So again, if I scroll to the bottom of this one, you can see the Hood Gaming logo again in small there. You'd need to do the same in here. So click on the edit and then add in this line here. Make sure that as I just said, just make sure that the numbers correlate to whatever your unique club ID is. And then you go from there, tickety boo. You can do the same with kits. And now this is where I need to talk to you about the amazing FM custom kits. He is brilliant. He has done me my own Hood Gaming custom kits. I will show you these properly in game. Actually, let's just open them up now. As you can see, this is the Hood Gaming custom kit, the home kit done by Lorenzo, or FM custom kits. Obviously Hood Gaming logo and YouTube on the kit. Looks very, very nice, doesn't it? So that is the home kit that we have looked at. Here is the away kit. I think this one looks fantastic as well. Very, very nice with the white trim. And then we also have the third kit here, which I just told him, just be creative. He's really, really good. He is really, really good. I will leave some links to Lorenzo down in the description and FM custom kits. He has his own website where you can recommend. Actually, you know what? Let's just show you. FM Custom Kits is brilliant. As I mentioned, Lorenzo is honestly fantastic. You can get prints kits from him, UK kits, ask for your own kits, you do your own logos. He does absolutely everything. Here are some of the custom logos that he's already created. Obviously you can see all sorts in here. That Bristol United one's quite nice, but he's done all of these himself. As you can see, look very, very nice. But you can also request your kits and stuff as well here. You can say what you want your team name to be, your kit manufacturer, your main kit sponsor, as I put YouTube in here, my main colors, home, away, third kit, etc. Team ID, this is where he creates the config file for you guys, and your email address, and you can just say what you want here. If you are doing this, please do use the promo code HOOD5. that will get you 5% off your order, so please do bear that in mind. If you are going and you are using the amazing FM custom kits, as I said, he is the best kit maker out there. Lorenzo, he is fantastic, he's fast, he does this amazingly. And then all you need to do is import it into the folders that we were just in. So as I mentioned, that is my little shout out to Lorenzo. He will give you the kits, as you can see here. He will give you the config file, and then you don't need to do anything else. And that, hopefully guys, is all you need to know about the graphics side of stuff. Let's boot up FM and start our new game. Right then guys, we've loaded up Football Manager and it is time to talk about the in-game section. So you are going to want to start a new game and click on the career button. As you can probably tell, I'm using the Vince skin. That will be linked down in the description. So you click on start a new career, then you need to load a custom database. Now you need to make sure, obviously you can see some of the ones that I've got here. I'm actually going to load up all the name fixes as well. Let's try those as well as my custom database and see if they all work at the same time. As you can see, I've got different test databases here from other legends that I have been doing tests on. R9 coming very, very soon to the channel. So you select all of these ones and then you hit the confirm button and then you go into the advanced setup. Now, obviously, this will set up the game from the database that you have created, guys. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of these out. And for the purposes of this video, we are just going to have the 𝘼𝙗𝙤 National League North and South loaded with a very, very small database so that it loads up really quickly. Just to excuse me, just to talk you through things. Obviously I've done a video on how to set up a save. Again, please do go and check that one out. It will get things as good as you want it to be for your save. Click the start game button and then it will start setting up the database. Now, again, as I said, I have done a video on this to get the peak performance for your machine and also the best enjoyment in terms of players in the database. So please do go and check that one out, guys. It is these are thorough videos, hoping that it makes your Football Manager experience just that little bit better. When I started playing FM, I wish I knew all this information, let's just put it that way, to make things as good as humanly possible. It's just setting up the league and cup competitions now, so this one will be set up pretty quickly, and then we can get into showing you everything in game. Hopefully showing you all of the hard work that we've put in is now about to pay off. It's just finding the manager targets now, which is the final leg of the journey in terms of setting up a database, and then we can go from there. Come on, FM, you can do it. I'm just stalling here just because I don't really want to have loads of cuts in this video if I can kind of help it. So finding the manager targets and we're done. Okay, so I'm just going to use my profile and then this is where you choose the team, guys. So the fingers crossed this worked because I don't want to go back in and tidy all this up. So we go in here and then you should see 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 FC. There we go. We are predicted to finish 21st, which is a bit of a yikes. But you can see all the information that you've got here. The 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 Gaming Stadium, which is a 5,000 all-seater. We've got average training facilities, basic youth, based in the UK and Ireland. Obviously, we're not in a Continental Cup competition. You can see semi-professional, blah, blah, blah. Got a little bit of history there, but there isn't any, so that's not really to be expected. We didn't put in any history. And then obviously you can already see the club culture here of play entertaining football and do not sign players over the age of 30. Hurrah! So then we go in. I'm just going to suggest my badges based on 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 FC. I will say again, I've done a video on all of this, guys, so make sure you go and check these out. Then you go through and then you are asked, as you can see, 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪, hire 𝘼𝙗𝙗, and here I am. There is my awful face, and we've signed on a deal worth £675 a week, which is great. Anyway, we've signed our contract. We click next, and then obviously we don't have any players because we don't have any players. We didn't put any players in. This is the club vision, so we're expected to fight bravely against relegation. All the competition expectation is put on you here. But as you can see, the play entertaining football and do not sign players over the age of 30. These are both desired, but also not dead important. Do you know what I mean? We don't want to meet the media. I hate doing media interviews. I'm just going to save this one here. And then we get into it, and then you can kind of see, guys, this is everything. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 FC, we are in the 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 National League South. The icons, both small and large, have both worked. As you can see, there is the small icon one, and there is the large one that you can see. It works quite nicely on this skin. Again, it's not the highest res, it's because I've rushed it doing this for the video. But then now we go into the club info. Then, as you can see, here are my amazing kits that the fantastic Lorenzo has put together. Looks great. 𝘼𝙗𝙤𝙪 Stadium, we don't have a photo of it. If you want to use a stadium pack, you can just do the same process that we've done for the logo and for the kits, guys. You just need to make sure that you adhere to the same sort of codes using the unique club ID, which you can see again up in the menu bar at the top. But guys, that's it. This is it. You're in, you're starting, you started your save, and it's time for you to write your own legacy. But that is where I'm going to leave it for today. Hopefully, you now have all the information to use the power of the pre-game editor to get the best, the ultimate club that you want. You can tailor things so specifically in that pre-game editor. I think it's just by far and away better than using the way in normal Football Manager. But if you have any questions, if you have anything else, links to my socials are down below. Come and find me on Twitter, jump in the Discord community, or ultimately just put a comment in the comments section here, and I will try and help each and every one of you get the best out of this as humanly possible and get that best experience for yourself. But until next time, guys, if you have enjoyed it, please do drop a like on the video down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new around here, and take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on another one very, very soon.